Hi, I'm Mike Darter with CCW Safe. I spent 20 years in law enforcement, and during that time I was involved in a shooting when I was at the Oklahoma City Police Department. That was during a high-risk search warrant. 2 suspects were killed in the process, and 2 years later I was sued in federal court as a result of that shooting. Now, that case was eventually thrown out at summary judgment, but it took some time to get there. And when I left law enforcement, I saw the need for a comprehensive coverage for retired police officers as well as for concealed carriers. The recognition of that turned into CCW Safe, and today we're one of the leading companies in the industry. We cover retired police officers across the nation as well as concealed carriers from almost every state. We're the only company that has actually successfully defended a lethal self-defense case with a full trial, and that case was the case of Stephen Maddox in 2017. The practices and policies surrounding officer-involved shootings have changed over time, and they're different now from the time of my shooting. For example, the time of my shooting, I was interviewed directly after the incident, which now there's typically a 24 to 48 hour delay in interviewing officers who are involved in shootings. That's one of the things we're going to be talking about in this series, the aftermath of a shooting. Now, this series is going to talk about lethal self-defense shootings. We're going to look at the different aspects involved and what follows that incident. We're going to look at training. We're going to look at protocols of law enforcement when dealing with officer-involved shootings. We're going to look at the physical and physiological effects that may take place, and we're going to look at some other topics as well. So today we're going to talk about training. Now, law enforcement and military, they've long used training logs to protect their officers and their departments if the officers are involved later in a shooting. Now, this record of training shows what they're trained in, how they were trained. It shows that they maintain proficiency and they carry and use their firearms responsibly. As a private citizen who decided to carry on your own, if you're ever forced to use your firearm in self-defense, then you're definitely going to want to be able to show those same things, that you train for the same reasons, that you train for proficiency, that you take the responsibility of carrying a firearm serious, and that you're responsible. You don't want to be seen as someone who is reckless or doesn't have good judgment. Now, training should include various aspects of firearms, including safety and handling, accuracy, proficiency, the laws of self-defense, which is something else we're going to talk about. And I think we all understand that the basic course that's required by most states is a certification course only. It's not a training course. It doesn't include much training. So it's a bare minimum course. So you should look into any local courses that you can take. And if you completed entry-level courses, look into more advanced courses available. Take an active part in training courses and be sure to document your training and save any certificates that you might receive for that training. One of my favorite quotes is, "We do not rise to the level of our expectations, but we fall to the level of our training." Now, this is one thing that really impacted me and I learned in my shooting, because at the time I was probably at the height of my level of training as a police officer. I was on a special impact team that was a specialty enforcement team. Now, next week we're going to be continuing this discussion. We're going to talk about the aftermath of a shooting. We're going to be talking about self-defense laws. So thank you for your time and stay safe.